history, tradition, new beginnings. These are just some of the words used to describe Latham United Methodist Church. You put it all together, it's really about Christ's love. And in 1961, for Farley Methodist, a small church on the outskirts of a soon-to-be populated city, Christ's love meant creating Latham Memorial Methodist Church. So a group of dedicated, faithful Christians looked for, discovered, and purchased land where they could have a church that would impact the community. Over the next couple minutes, we're going to meet with members who were there for this move and discover the history. So sit back, relax, as we dive into the history of Latham United Methodist Church.
I joined the church at Farley in 1950, so I was a member at Farley when we came up here.
We were very surprised when we moved from Birmingham to Farley, and at the time we moved, you could find nothing in 1954 to rent, buy, or anything.
But I have a lot of nice remembrances,
Well, I grew up on Weatherly Road, and my family has always been members of Farley, and I have memories of Farley all the way back to 2nd and 3rd grade probably. And Farley was where I have an aunt, Hannah Esslinger, and she and her family were real involved, and she got us all involved. My grandmother, Jean Weatherly, and she made sure we always got to Sunday school and church, and it was our family. It was our social life and the only thing we had, because this area was cornfields and cotton fields and dirt roads and gravel roads, and we went to town just once a week or once every 2 weeks, but every week, at least twice, we went to Farley to the church.
okay, I remember that it wasn't very populated at the time. There was not another church except a Baptist church in the area.
Well, I started going to Farley Church when I was probably 12 or 13 years old. And that was in 1948 or 9. My folks lived in Redstone Park, which was the government housing that was built there because of the influx of people coming to work for the Defense Department, making ammunition for the war. We, our NYF would meet on Sunday nights. Sometimes we would walk from Redstone Park to the church.
First of all, there was nothing in the South. Someone else has probably said that. And this was all pretty barren. They were building all this stuff.
A lot of cotton fields.
Yeah, and we lived at Redstone Park, which was the government housing back then, and started at Farley. And Jack was on every committee at one time or another for the whole term.
In the years following the move from Farley Methodist to Latham Memorial Methodist, the church would become a beacon in the community. You add that with a fast-growing membership, Latham started to carve out a personality and a history that was unique unto itself.
Okay, with the mimeograph, I was the first secretary, by the way, and I had to take a paintbrush, dip it in this yucky black stuff, and paint the inside of the mimeograph. That's how we did the mimeograph, and then run the mimeograph. And, well, that was the thing that stood out in my mind, because I used to get my hands all full of ink, and it was not fun.
And the next stage, the contractor ordered the wrong windows. And so when the men found out, our committee found out we had the wrong windows, they made him take them out and get the new ones, you know. But he was willing to knock off a lot of money if we let him use the wrong windows for the church. But they stayed firm. Okay.
One of the earliest assignments was the sale of $75,000 worth of church bonds to build the first increment of the new building on Weatherly Road. The congregation was divided into sales teams, and Jack was made captain of a team. Most of all the bonds sold quickly, but the days drug on and he still had $5,000 worth of bonds. Jack asked around Thiokol where he worked, and a co-worker said that Dr. Evans, another co-worker, had some money he wanted to invest. Jack contacted him and was invited to his home on Montesano that evening.
I belonged to a Sunday school class which was known as the La Buckley Sunday School class, and Mr. Claude Buchanan was our teacher. Now we had some substitute teachers. Ms. Adkins was one of the substitutes, and then before, somewhere along the line, Mr. Buchanan's brother-in-law, and I cannot remember his name, he taught that class a while too.
Mr. Buchanan. Mr. Buck was the chairman of that at the time, I think.
Well, you were on the Sunday school director too when we got in there. I don't really know. I wish you could all see what I'm seeing in my mind, because it was a very exciting time. We had a good time. When we had meetings, one would come or the other would come. Sometimes we both had meetings. So we brought the kids. Everybody brought their kids. They ran all over the church. Parents got mad because you weren't making your kid mind, kind of thing, you know. But it was really.
I have been a member of Circle One for 59 years, and I have held many offices and committees in Circle One. And I have been very active in Circle One. And at one time, we're the oldest circle.
The influx of people were coming to work at the Arsenal. There was a great deal of young professionals, engineers and accountants and school teachers, and these kind of people came to Farley because it was the only Methodist church located in the south end of town. We outgrew ourselves. I think we had like 250 people in 1956 or 7, and in 1987 I think we had about 800 members here. So when they decided to move the church here, everybody was excited because most of us had relocated in the Lily Flag area and had built our homes and had our families. My husband and I were, Miss Lily said the first couple she could remember getting married in the old Farley church. So we had our wedding there. The student pastor that we had, Ray Tribble, he had married one of the local girls, and they had their wedding on the lawn, but ours was in the church, and both of our children were baptized in the old Farley church as babies, and it was a wonderful time. We were so excited to have the fellowship hall. We all bought our own chair, our own folding chairs, which we're still using in the Farley Hall. We bought one for each member and one extra for a visitor. We had NYF, we had WSCS, and we had a wonderful scouting troop, which Millie Byram's husband, one of the members who moved from Farley here, he was the institutional representative, I believe.
Methodist.
No, no.
It doesn't, it's nothing at all like it was then. It was, well, I can't even compare it because it was so little. But of course, as you know, it grew and grew as the people came in this whole area. That's how it grew, and it grew fast too. So it was a very up-and-coming church, and I think it was a much needed one in this area, because I don't think we had any right close other than Latham. So that's all I know, and all I can tell you is that Weatherly Road was a 2-lane country road. Very nice country road. And of course, you know what it is now. It's a 5-lane, yeek, which I don't care. And we lived on Weatherly Road. So it was really nice.
So what does the future hold for Latham United Methodist Church? I think everybody has their ideas and also their hopes of what they would like to see.
I think Latham has always tried to cater to the young people and tried to provide the facilities and the meetings and the things that kids would like. The choir, I think the music department here is growing, and I think there are a lot of kids that really, really enjoy that. And I just think the future of Latham is bright. I think that we have everything to offer, and I think as people move away from our area, sometimes they end up coming back because we are a compact community here. We have shopping, we have churches, we have schools, we have our roads where other areas don't, and I just see it as a real...
Well, I think this church has been a lot to, meant a lot to the community. And just different things as I think the church does today. Different things. This church and congregation has meant a great deal to me. We have had illnesses. I have lost my husband in the meantime, and without this church, I don't know how I would have gotten through it, because they're there for you when you need them. Whatever you need, whenever you need it, they're there.
You need your ministers and your church.
I would say that Latham is a loving congregation, period.
So what do all these interviews tell us? Simple. Latham has changed and will change. And with each change, something new and exciting happens. Whether it be moving from Farley Church to a new spot of purchased land, to building a family life center, or even Life Tree Cafe. But we must remember one important thing. Latham is not the building, but it's the people. It's the people who are the driving force behind it. The inspiration that make the church grow and bring disciples to Christ. And it's because of the people that Latham will always have a bright and beautiful future. Thank you for joining us.